Well, welcome back to Channel Ron. Today I'm going to show you how to protect your outside window from being busted by possibly a basketball. My son's got a basketball hoop up here, and we've had a little too many close calls, so I decided to come up with an idea, and this is working out really well. All I've got is a couple of 2x3s on either side, measured up about 35 inches, and I've taken some PVC, 1-inch PVC, and I put them across there, and that's just going to kind of slow it down, and hopefully we don't have any situations. So far we've been pretty good about not having the windows broken, and I've done this once before using a different technique, not attaching it to the casing itself. I've actually attached it to the bottom of the window and the top, but there's a lot of meat on this window here that I was able to attach it right to the window. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how I'm going to build it for this window right here. Okay, so one of the first things we need to do is we need to cut the 2x4 or the 2x3. I'm using the 2x3. I didn't feel it necessary to come out any further, so this is going to work fine for me. So my windows from the top to the bottom are 35 inches, so I need to cut 2 of these at 35 inches. So once you get those cut, gonna set those up here side by side, and pick the best end that you want on the outside. Doesn't really matter, because we're gonna paint it anyhow. And then go ahead and come up with the measurements you want. I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So I'm going to have 6 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once you've done that, keeping them level, take your square and you're just going to mark those. That way you're going to get it perfectly measured across. And when you put your bars up there, they're going to be straight. All right, then after that, go ahead and measure over halfway point on each end. Go ahead and take your straight edge. There's our center right there. Okay, so once you get that done, go ahead and get your hole saw, what size you want. I'm using 1.5 inches. And what I did on the other one is I just kind of measured down about 1 inch on the hole saw itself. And I marked it with a piece of electrical tape here. And that's just a guide so I don't go all the way through. Put that right on the center of the mark. Kind of push down a little bit. All right, once you've got those all pre-drilled, go ahead and take your hammer and screwdriver, and we want to bust those out. Like that. Pull those right out of there. And you should end up with something that looks like that. So do the same thing to the other one. Now once you get that all taken care of, one of the things I want to do is I want to put a little curve on here. So the best way to do that is just to find something round, and I got a roll of duct tape here, and I'm just going to kind of trace this right around like this. And that's going to give me a nice little curve when I cut that, and when I put it up on the wall there, it's just going to look a little nicer. And you want to do the same thing to this one over here. You should end up with something like that. Looks really nice. Go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so there are our 2 braces right there. Got them all sanded down and ready to paint. So before I do that, I'm just going to kind of pre-fit them. I'm pretty sure my measurements are correct, but always like to just make sure that they set up on the window okay. So okay, I just went ahead and pre-fit them. They fit under the windows with no problem at all. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my PVC and I'm going to measure these all out at 34 inches. And that gives me about 1/4 of an inch on either side for a little bit of play. And so all you're going to need to do is just measure that down, mark it, and cut them up. So I need 6 of them. Okay, so let's take all our stuff and kind of lay it out. And we want to go ahead and get ready to paint this. I've kind of wiped these down a little bit so the paint will stick a little bit better. And all I've got here is some spikes that I've driven into this sawhorse here, so it will hold it for me while I paint it. All right, let's go ahead and get some paint and paint this stuff up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of line this up with the frame itself. Again, I've got quite a bit of meat on this window here to screw into. So you may not. So you may want to check before you start screwing into your window. Once you've lined that up, I'm going to take my screws, and I'm using 3.5-inch screws. I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to kind of get that started. Line it up one more time. And we're going to install this side first. Now we can go ahead and install this side, but it's going to be a little tricky because we're going to be putting our pipes in as we go. Okay, before I start putting the pipes in, I'm going to put the first screw in here first. That way I have something that's kind of already pre-drilled for me, and I'm not trying to fight it and trying to line it up as I'm putting the pipes in. All right, so here we go. So we need to put the first one in. I'm going to have to take this screw back out, but when I go to put it back in, I'm not going to have to worry about lining it up because it's already going to be pre-drilled. So let's go ahead and take this out and start putting our pipes in. All right, number one. Slide that in like that. Here we go. Just like that. Go ahead and put the other two screws in. Well, there you have it. Not a whole lot to it. Both windows are now protected against the basketball. So in the event that something goes wrong, hopefully the bars take care of the problem. So they're pretty durable. And hopefully this is going to take care of a lot of my problems. Thanks an awful lot for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheddar on.